The viral TikToks from Chinese factory workers, the internet is now in a frenzy over claims that some of the most iconic designer bags are actually born in the East.
You know that more than 80% of the luxury leather products, like handbags, purses, and shoes of Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Gucci, Coach, Prada, you name it, most of them are made in China.
The luxury dream might be dead, and Beyoncé just cracked the surface of a billion-dollar illusion. In a world where a $20,000 Louis Vuitton handbag isn't just an accessory, but a symbol of wealth and influence, a viral TikTok has shattered the narrative. Behind those marble storefronts and gold-plated logos, the truth is leaking out. Loud, fast, and impossible to ignore. And when things started boiling over, Beyoncé stepped into the storm. Not with a press statement, not with a fashion campaign, but with one sharp, clear call-out that echoed across the internet. So, what happens when the queen of the culture calls out the kings of couture? And what if her words uncover a scandal so deep it could bring an entire industry to its knees? Stay locked in, because what we're about to uncover isn't just about handbags. It's about deception, legacy, and a luxury empire built on smoke and mirrors. No headlines, no glossy exposés, just one video on TikTok, and it blew the doors off the luxury world. Shot by a Chinese factory worker, the clip revealed bags nearly identical to those sold at Louis Vuitton boutiques.
Hermès will charge you 38,000 USD for one bag. That's because more than 90% of the price is paid for its logo. But if you do not care about the logo, you just want the same quality, same material.
Lined up on assembly tables in what looked nothing like a Parisian atelier. The caption? Simple. This is where they're really made. He didn't just talk. He showed. Rows of monogrammed bags, flawless stitching, gold-toned hardware, and Made in France tags applied like decals. Then came more videos, more workers, more leaks. TikTok turned into a war zone for truth. And for millions watching, the veil was lifted. The luxury story we've been sold for decades might have been one big performance. The spell broke, and the wizard behind the curtain exposed.
Decades, we have been conditioned to believe that China is just one giant sweatshop pumping out crap while we are the sophisticated, high-end innovators. And it turns out China has just been patiently waiting for us to be completely dependent upon their manufacturers. They have been mastering every technology, absorbing every industry, and then building an empire that doesn't need us half as much as we need them.
Then came Beyoncé. Quiet, calculated, and commanding. Unlike other celebrities, she doesn't jump into drama, but when she speaks, the world listens. Under a viral video exposing the alleged Louis Vuitton factory setting, Beyoncé left a comment that sent shockwaves. If the bags are really handmade in France, why hide the process? Just show it. No hashtags, no fluff, just the truth. And fans went wild. For someone who's famously private and meticulously curated, her statement carried weight. Beyoncé's fashion influence is global. Her closet, filled with custom couture and designer exclusives, defines luxury itself. So when she questioned Louis Vuitton, it hit differently. This wasn't petty gossip. It was a cultural checkpoint. Because if even Beyoncé is raising an eyebrow, the brand better have answers. Louis Vuitton isn't just a brand, it's an empire. Some of its bags retail for $40,000 and up, depending on materials and exclusivity. The global luxury industry, valued at a staggering $380 billion. But the illusion is showing cracks. In 2024, luxury sales dipped. A mere 2% fall might seem small, until you realize that in this world, it signals billions lost. The biggest drop? In China. Gen Z, once luxury's prime target, has turned skeptical. They're demanding transparency, not just logos. And Beyoncé's comment gave this growing doubt a spotlight. It wasn't just a call-out, it was a spark in dry grass. The luxury world? Officially on fire. It wasn't just Louis Vuitton under fire. Factory owners stepped forward. One declared, 80% of Gucci, 60% of Prada, all made right here. And yes, Louis Vuitton was on the list. Videos showed the infamous LV canvas, the signature zippers, the golden chains, all assembled in Chinese facilities, not French workshops. One side-by-side comparison between a $25,000 Louis Vuitton Capucines and a $250 replica went viral. You couldn't tell the difference. Same materials, same stitching, same story. Only one came with a fantasy attached. It wasn't just a brand under fire, it was the concept of luxury itself being dismantled, frame by frame, TikTok by TikTok. You'd think Louis Vuitton would rush to defend its legacy, maybe release a video of artisans at work, French villages, classical music in the background. But instead, silence. No tweets, no press conference, no proof. Just PR smoke and locked comment sections. And that silence, it said everything. Fashion insiders started whispering, influencers stopped tagging, haul videos were deleted, luxury no longer felt like prestige, it felt like a scam. Even loyal fans began distancing themselves. And when Beyoncé questioned the brand, the floodgates burst. Louis Vuitton always sold more than bags. They sold a fantasy. Each item was supposed to represent timelessness, art, heritage. But the TikToks painted a different picture: speed, secrecy, and mass production. Fans now ask, is it worth $20,000 for a bag made on an assembly line? Many feel duped. Not because the bags are low quality, but because the truth was hidden. It's not just a crack in the facade, it's the collapse of trust. A product built on perception is only as valuable as that perception holds. Beyoncé doesn't do chaos. She's composed, curated, and calculated, which is why her single comment felt like an earthquake. Her words weren't loud, but they were clear. And that clarity became a rallying cry for millions. Suddenly, asking questions about Louis Vuitton wasn't controversial. It was necessary. Her influence reshaped the narrative, not just about a bag, but about what luxury even means anymore. For many fans, Beyoncé's skepticism gave them permission to stop worshiping logos and start demanding the truth. Let's be real, this isn't just another headline about designer drama. What we're witnessing could be the beginning of a luxury collapse, the kind the industry hoped would never reach the public eye, the kind no brand, not even Louis Vuitton, is prepared for. For years, Louis Vuitton stood tall as the gold standard of prestige, a name whispered in style circles and flaunted by the world's elite. Their monogram didn't just signify wealth, it signified power. And people bought into that image, not just with their wallets, but with their dreams. But now, the illusion is cracking, and Gen Z is holding the hammer. Young consumers don't want fantasy, they want facts. They don't fall for mystique, they want manufacturing proof. They're not impressed by legacy, they want authenticity. And when Beyoncé, a cultural icon who's long walked in step with high fashion, asks a simple, bold question, it shifts the entire conversation. Because Beyoncé isn't just a celebrity endorsement, she is the culture. Her challenge forced Louis Vuitton and the rest of the luxury world to look in the mirror. And what stared back was uncomfortable. A brand built on mystery being torn apart by transparency. TikTok detectives, YouTube deep dives, Reddit investigators. This isn't just a trend, it's a tidal wave. And Louis Vuitton can't hide behind its history anymore. People are comparing stitching, exposing production inconsistencies, and documenting returns in real time. And the effect is devastating, not just on perception, but on business. Luxury isn't dying, it's evolving. And if Louis Vuitton doesn't evolve with it, they won't just lose relevance, they'll lose trust. The old luxury world, silent, elite, unchallenged, is gone. The new one, it speaks up, calls out, and demands receipts. And thanks to Beyoncé's single line, that new world just got a whole lot louder. When Beyoncé stepped into this unfolding drama, she didn't just comment, she reshaped the stakes. Her voice, calm but piercing, echoed louder than any runway show. In a single sentence, she cracked the mask that Louis Vuitton had worn for decades. A brand built on mystery was suddenly cornered by a demand for transparency. And the public responded. Think about it. How many people have saved, sacrificed, and aspired just to own a piece of that luxury fantasy? A Louis Vuitton bag wasn't just leather, it was legacy, a ticket to an exclusive world. But now, that world is under a harsh spotlight. If the same hands that make 200 knockoffs are also making 20,000 masterpieces, then this isn't about bags. It's about betrayal. We're no longer talking about fashion. We're talking about deception. We're talking about billion-dollar brands pushing narratives that no longer hold up in the age of digital receipts and citizen journalism. And here's the kicker. this isn't ending here. Whistleblowers are surfacing, lawsuits are being drafted, consumers are demanding class action accountability, and Louis Vuitton's silence, it's turning into a scream for answers, for transparency, for truth. Because once that final thread unravels, there's no going back. Beyoncé didn't need to shout, she didn't need to post a video. She let a single comment detonate across platforms. And that's what makes her dangerous to the status quo. She doesn't play by fashion's rules. She writes the cultural playbook. So now we ask the real question: can luxury survive without secrecy? Can a brand built on mystery adapt to a world that demands proof? Maybe Louis Vuitton will bounce back. Maybe the name will remain. But the trust, the aura, the invincibility, gone. Because in this new era, the price tag doesn't impress. Transparency does. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was Beyoncé right to speak up, or did she go too far? Subscribe for more deep dives into fashion's hidden truths, celebrity power plays, and the billion-dollar illusions they don't want you to question. Because the real luxury in 2025? Knowing the truth and not being fooled again.